Hi, I'm Joni Patri, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about Mercury retrograde. And you probably feel like it's retrograde all the time because it seems like we forget about it. And then when it becomes retrograde, it seems like we just went through it. But in reality, Mercury only goes retrograde 3 times a year for about 3 weeks. And what's interesting, I think, about Mercury retrograde is that when it goes retrograde each year, the 3 times that it's retrograde, it is primarily in a particular element. And that actually flavors what the year is about in terms of what Mercury represents, which Mercury, of course, is communications of all kinds, how we connect to people in all ways. So it can deal with what we're saying, what we're thinking. It also deals with air travel because that's how we connect to people. And any of the airways that we connect to people, whether it be through social media, through computers, through telephones, through television, any kind of technology that connects us. So this is all ruled by Mercury. So when Mercury does go retrograde, these areas become a major focus because things get a little messed up. So as I was saying, each year it will be in a particular element, and this year of 2026 it is in air, the air element, and it was retrograde in March, in most of March in Aquarius, and now it's retrograde in Gemini. And it will be retrograde in November in Libra. So what does that mean? Air is more about communications. So it's really going to be an intense Mercury retrograde. Now Mercury turns retrograde on June 29th. And it will be retrograde most of July. And it will turn direct July 23rd. So during this period, things will become really intense. And for the most part, when it does turn retrograde, though, June 29th, it will be at 2 degrees of Cancer. So it just entered into Cancer. Cancer deals with security issues. Cancer deals with emotional issues. But it's going to spend most of its time retrograde in Gemini, where it will turn direct on July 23rd at 22 degrees of Gemini. 22 degrees of Gemini. This is really, really vitally important because that is where the sun is in the United States chart. When you look at the chart for July 4th, 1776, the sun is at 22 degrees of Gemini. So what does that mean that Mercury is going to turn direct on that degree? And by the way, when planets do turn direct or retrograde on a degree of one of your planets, it really brings out what that planet is doing in your chart, personally. But for the United States, the sun is the leader. It is. It's the president, like it or not. And Mercury there means there's going to be a big change in the direction and the course that the president is going to be taking and what he is thinking and doing. And with it going forward, it means things should be going forward. So we will see how this affects the United States. But another thing is, since I've been seeing so many hectic things going on in this month, coming up in July, it is like everything that Mercury represents in terms of chaos will be happening because Gemini is the sign that deals specifically with how we connect and communicate. So here's the situation. When a planet is turned retrograde, it's going the opposite direction of where all the other planets are, And it causes, it's like, look at me, I'm different, I got something to say. And when it does go retrograde, any of the planets, whatever that planet represents, particularly the sign it's in, is expounded in our world. You can't get away from it. That's what the trend is, that's what the talk's about, that's where the problems are, that's what needs to be redone, reviewed, reassessed, reanalyzed, and particularly reflected. Everything with RE, rewriting it, review, going back. We have to go back and see what we need to be working on to fix when Mercury goes retrograde. It's not a bad time. But because we don't take the time to pull back and reassess things, it is chaotic because we didn't see certain things that we could have if we reviewed it all with clarity. And Mercury is how we think. So what you're going to find is when Mercury does turn retrograde, or when it turns direct, people change their minds because it deals with the thinking process and our communication process, and people change. Okay, before we go on, I have to remind everyone, sign up for my free newsletter. You will get all these dates and times delivered to your email every week. Not only that, it's free, but when you're at my website, galacticcenter.org, check out all the things I have going on, such as my Patreon group, which is a spiritual community. But most of all, if you haven't checked out my new app, Galactic Planner, you are missing out. It will tell you all of these things daily and reminders on your phone or your computer, whatever you choose. But get the app. This app is different. You can ask it questions. You can ask it anything you need to know about your chart, and it will give you an answer. And those answers are not on the AI, which is many times wrong. It is using all of my books and my teachings from my university to get your prediction correct as it can be without a true astrologer reading your chart. I promise you, it is an invaluable tool. Get the Galactic Planner. Go to galacticplanner.com. And I got a lot going on, and I revamped and redid my whole university. So you're going to want to study with me if you love astrology. Go to universityofvedicastrology.com. Now, continuing on about this Mercury retrograde. If you have any planets in the sign of Gemini, they're going to come under scrutiny and things are going to change, and you're going to change your opinion and your mind about things with Mercury shifting into this sign. Now, another thing is, if you know your chart, whichever house Gemini is in, that's going to be where the hiccups happen. Generally, we have to pay better attention when Mercury's retrograde. And that means if and when you're signing any contracts, which, let me remind everyone, the world doesn't stop when Mercury's retrograde. You just have to be more aware. That's why I'm telling you this. So if you're signing a contract, if you're doing anything with a written analysis or dealing with connecting with people, communications, be more cautious. Double check things. And if you are traveling, remember this. Many times, especially with Mercury going retrograde in the sign of Gemini, which deals with travel, there's going to be a lot of hiccups. There can be computer outages with traveling. There can be flight delays when this is going on, as well as so many things could be happening because Rahu is going to be still aspecting, because Rahu is still in Aquarius and it's aspecting the sign of Gemini. So if you're flying, if you're traveling, which the world doesn't stop when Mercury's retrograde, double check your flight plans, double check to see if your flight's been delayed, because chances are it can be, and just bring something that is entertaining, because when Mercury's retrograde you may have some delays, and if you're prepared mentally, it's not a big deal. You'll get more work done in an airport waiting for your flight. That's it. That's how I used to do it, because I used to be a flight attendant, and let me tell you, every time Mercury went retrograde, I knew it. But I used to bring lots of reading material and lots of work to be done, and it didn't bother me because I was mentally prepared for it. You see? So I think Mercury retrograde is a time to be more aware, more conscious, and when you're communicating with people, definitely make sure that they understand what you're trying to tell them, because this is a time that people misunderstand you too. So ask them, do you understand what I just said? And in my case as a teacher, it's a time where I have to ask my students, did you understand the concept I just presented? And I repeat it, because you know what? When Mercury's retrograde, especially in Gemini, people are spacey. They're not paying attention. They're just they go into lapses of consciousness where they're not aware. Just be prepared and take care of business. Gemini is a sign of learning, education, and it is also the sign of how we speak to people and how we write. So that comes under the domain of contracts as well. Just do your homework and prepare, and things will go smoothly, even though for the rest of the world it will be chaotic. So happy Mercury retrograde. Once again, it's going to turn retrograde June 29th, and it's going to turn direct July 23rd. Thank you.